Hello, everyone out there behind that side of the screen. I'm Alex. I'm pleased to see all my regular viewers and all possible newcomers to my channel. And I'm pleased to realize that some new people may come and see my kind of self-activity in my learning thing, and I'm really um, really inspired because I do this thing for all those people who may see me sitting just right now behind that side of the screen, just following my regular activity about making self video sessions and some kind of maybe soliloquy about nothing from one side, and from the other side we can see that I'm just trying to do my subsequent just following sessions that following a line. I'm trying to make them more versatile in order to sound more interesting to those possible newcomers who may join my activity just recent days, or else when it's up to you to decide which part of my movie making activity to join, and whether to join at all. It's up to you. It's on your consideration. And concerning today's video, what I'm about to tell you, actually I was not pretty sure that I would that I would make some kind of extensional activity after having my rather prolonged session of speaking activity today. And on my way home, I just slightly hesitated about whether it worth to be accomplished or whether it not, and I just decided it in no time while having a nice walk along the embankment, and it was never like a huge choice for me whether to record myself, whether not to record. As I am going to be more fluent, I should do this thing without just making some maybe hesitations about which choice it would be like. It's more likely that I would decide to do this because I like that stuff that I mentioned. I like this kind of self self-improvement process, a process that makes you more fluent. And given that I don't have anyone at my place to speak with, I'm just was pretty clear that I could easily make this thing with myself. And sometimes those videos appear to be more slow, sometimes it appear to be more fast. As I followed some block of advanced listening practice, I became clear about the idea that some guy actually pushed me to that idea that it would be more nice for the learners to maybe not to rush with the rate of speech, but to concentrate on which detail every word you speak, how you speak this word, how to do it clearly in the right way instead of rushing through things. Though from the other side, it's more significant for me to be spontaneously fluent, so that I would be able to make my spontaneous speech about whatever you want to be more like spontaneous speaking man, like corresponding to the context of situation, who would be able to keep up any conversation at any certain moment, to react to certain replics or the possible my colleagues in my speaking process. And in order to do that more fluently, I should keep up my own space and to grow even should keep up should keep up my own pace of my own speech, and not to set the bar too low in order not to go down. I should keep up the certain pace, an average pace, I would say, between spontaneous fluency and between the righteousness of what I'm saying right now, between the understanding and the righteousness of the whole phrases and in the whole sentences which I can make up with those phrases that I learned recently. And all those things are very significant for me, because all those things, they make up the whole process of learning thing that I am exploring now. And actually, not to rant about nothing, I'd rather to be concentrated on what I wanted to tell you. Just very this evening, I just was about to tell you how was my whole day today. Actually, I was about to tell you about the today's day, and today's day was like very important, very like significant for me, because I'll tell you later. This very day we have today, by the way, it's still like the 5th of July today of the year of 2016. And we still have soccer activity in France, and actually we have the very I would say the ending of the soccer championship, and only 4 teams remained to be fighting for the main cup of the Europe, this championship. And that's not a point I wanted to share. The point actually, as I mentioned, today's day. And today's day was pretty fine. All the day through was nice weather, rather comfortable conditions, and the temperature was about like 25 degrees above zero, which is rather comfortable for me, and I suppose for all the people around my neighborhood, because I feel pretty like comfortable in those conditions. It's not too hot, it's not cold, it just makes me feel fine. And on my way to the actually, I must to say that today's day was about accomplishing my deepest maybe dream that I was hanging around with recently. I was actually hanging around with the idea with being involved into the kind of activity of advanced learners practice, like speaking, like discussing something, but not to rant about nothing, but to discuss certain points that should become more clear while discussing. And actually, I had some ideas in my mind. I shared with you before with those ideas, and now I'm about to remind what all those ideas were. Those ideas were like to take a Russian newspaper, I mean Ukrainian one, but written in Russian language, and like read it in front of the small group of people while being in this group of people, and to be surrounded by the members of a certain level of the knowing English, like not less than mine, and more likely to be even higher than my language, than my level of knowing language. And being among those people, I'd like to, I wanted to read the newspaper written in Russian sentence by sentence, and after that I would want this thing to be discussed among this small interested group of people. And that's what I've had today, at last. It was my dream of the latest, I would say, like year and a half, and that became reality. I'm so glad, I'm so satisfied, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm about to remember this very day. Today we have the 5 of the 5th of July of the year 2016. I should remember this date. And our today's activity was about what I said you in a recent minute. I would say I wouldn't repeat it again, and that became real. Actually, in brief about our group, actually we were 5 people in there, and this kind of activity took place in the Horthy Library, is the most renowned library in the not only for the city but also like about all these Zaporizhzhia district. It's like the most renowned library in the all the Zaporizhzhia neighborhood. So would you to know better about this thing? And we gathered together on the 3rd floor, and I was the organizer, the leader of that group. I initiated that kind of new activity. We were 5 people there, as I mentioned, and there were 2 girls and 3 guys, and we had a nice lovely chat about the discussion of the Russian article. And after having read those sentences in Russian, we proceeded with the translation of those sentences, but strictly in English. And after that, we discussed all those things we read about in English at more higher rate of speech, I would say, at more advanced level, though this very first meeting wasn't too long and wasn't like overstuffed with our speaking activity, because we didn't know for sure in advance how it would turn out eventually. But it was great. It was great. Everyone was great at the interpreting thing at this article. And there were some guy. His name was Sergey. And after, as our meeting was nearing its end, he proposed to join him and to visit some local church, and we have kind of preaching activity not far from my place, actually maybe like 2 kilometers from my neighborhood. We have a local church and some Native Americans in there, some young guys who are actually trying to turn as more people as they want to turn those local people into their faith. Actually, not to their faith, but just in general, to make them believe God, to believe good things in their lives, and they actually on good way. I mean, they do very good things to people, as I know. And we actually joined that meeting not from the very beginning, just I would say rather in the middle, and we were asked about our opinions, to put our own opinions about the point, what would be the meaning of the notion of the notion, like what the patience is. And I put my pretty simple but very strong opinion about how to be patient, and I mentioned some things that happened in my life lately, and not even lately, but throughout all my life. And I proceeded with my speech, and I mentioned all the details that I passed in my life, and how I become clear about the notion of being patient, and about my personal attitude to that point. And every one of us, I mean, we still were like we were like 5 people who joined that kind of meeting, and we proceeded with our speaking practice, and even just in a high pace when I'm doing this right now, because I'm pretty tired. We have like 10 we have actually 14 minutes to 11 p.m. right now, and as I'm going to be more fluent, I'm doing this speaking activity even I'm so weary and tired and so on. It's not important for me. Because I like this thing, I like this. So I told you in brief what was about my today's activity, and I think that's all. That's all. I wouldn't overwhelm you with the not important stuff. You might be also tired or so, or might be not so interested in what I'm saying right now. I just wanted to share my personal experience of English learning process, and I'm satisfied with all things that happened today, and I met the right people on my way up, and I'm inspired by them also. We are kind of in the same boat. We are following the same way, and we are like colleagues in some meaning of the word. And I'm pretty sure that we will reach our heights at English learning process much faster than doing these things alone. So I hope to see you soon in a little while, and I'm will keep my English learning thing going up and up all the time, and I'll be trying to be more fluent time by time, and I want to see more people want to maybe be getting involved into this process, and the more people will we have at our meetings, the more fluent our English will become. So see you soon in a little while. I appreciate your attendance here and seeing me talking this, and I wish you to be in a good health, and to have a nice dreams this night, and to awake completely fresh and prepared for tomorrow's events of your life. See you soon, guys. See you. Bye.